Hey everybody, welcome back. This week in Coach's Tips, we're looking at 5 ways you can overcome a sticking point in an exercise. Okay, Steve here. Hopefully we can keep this video again to under 3 minutes, but we got 5 points, so I'm going to give you the top line for each one. If you want to go into more detail as to how each of these can help you get through a sticking point in an exercise, I'll put a link down below where you can find out a lot more information. And of course, as usual, all links to all studies that I mentioned here will be in the description down below. So let's get going. Number 1 we have on the board is isolation work. I'm going to be referring to the squat, deadlift, and bench press as the kind of big 3 movements we're going to be discussing when overcoming a sticking point. So isolation work speaks for itself. That's your bodybuilder stuff, that's your curls, that's your tricep extensions. You're isolating the muscles that you're using to overcome a sticking point. Also, it's good to note that these exercises, squat, deadlift, and bench press, are skills. And so this, just because you're strong with leg extensions or leg curls, does not mean you're going to have a really good squat. So you need to keep that in mind. Number 2, we're looking at ROM Specific. Now I did mention squat, deadlift, and bench press. This I am not referring to for the squat. Even in the study cited, they cautioned the dangers of only squatting to 90 degrees or just squatting for partial ranges of motion. I'll link to the meta-analysis down below. In 2013, they found that squatting to 90 degrees had the highest shear force on your knees and could lead to the soft tissue damage around your knee joint. So we're not going to use ROM specific work or partial ranges of motion for our squat. However, very popular in the powerlifting world, we're doing deadlifts from the pin. Please don't do it from above your knee. If you have trouble locking out, I'm sure that you might use it. Noted in this study was isometric work, and they had it in the same category as ROM specific work. In particular, I'll talk about the squat, and we'll talk about pause squatting and why that is so great. When you take out the stretch shortening cycle, what you're doing is you're also strengthening the tendons around the joints involved in the squat. And what that does is that increases muscle efficiency. So without lifting more weight, you're getting stronger because you're developing more efficient muscles. So the third point we have here is speed training. Speed training, we're looking at utilizing 50 to 70% of our 1 rep max, and we want to power through or move as quickly as we can through our sticking point to help overcome that obstacle. Point number 4 here is called accommodating resistance or variable resistance. This is the use of bands and chains to help you overcome your sticking point. I will link below to a number of different articles and athletes who regularly use this to help them get much. So point number 5 here, our last point, is technique. Despite it looking like it's on a downhill angle, it's because I'm recording this with my trusty old GoPro, but regardless, it pretty much speaks for itself. You can alter your technique to help overcome a sticking point. For example, in the squat, you can bring your feet in or widen your stance, because we know widening our stance utilizes our glute muscles more. Bench press, are your elbows flaring out? Is the bar too high? There's a number of different things for that. So I suggest either looking at tutorials on YouTube or better yet, actually going to a seminar or meeting someone that may be more experienced than you. That can definitely help you out in that department as well. So that's it. Hopefully you learned something today. Those are the 5 ways of overcoming a sticking point in an exercise. Don't forget to stay tuned and click that like, share, and subscribe button. Every Monday we're doing Coach's Tips. Every Tuesday it's TRX Tuesday. And then by the end of the week I'll put in some highlights of my lifting throughout the week. Also, if I find or come across something that's really interesting, I will do another one of these videos. So maybe you'll get lucky and we'll have 2 of these during the week. Also, just a reminder, all the studies that I've cited in this will be in the description down below. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something today.